I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Part 2, Jarvis Butts is talking. Salute to the chat. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to my moderators. Now, we left off on part 1. We were going over the text messages. So I'm going to give everybody a little bit more time to pull up, and then we're going to just jump straight into the text messages where we left off at. And I got a quick announcements to make as well, and then we're going to just do what we do, y'all. If you are interested in going to the motherland, Africa, Ghana, my people, tourafrica_net is giving a roller skating trip to the motherland, Ghana. So if you're interested, tap into tourafrica_net on Instagram.
I am Tammy Ross from LA. Practically lived in Ghana for 5 years now. I've met great people and talented skaters. My passion for skating led to creating the Africa on Wheels Skate and Culture Tour to encourage people to do what they love in the motherland too. I've met very creative skaters, but noticed there are not many safe places to skate, although
the
they make it
2026
happen
Skate
indeed.
Empowerment Tour to Ghana itinerary includes 7 days in 2 regions, traditional welcome ceremony, meet and greet mingle, Ghana Skate live presentation, 4 historical and cultural attractions, community skate workshop, massages by waterfalls, the Cape Coast Annual Festival, doing business in Ghana conference.
You will skate at various safe locations and participate in the Cape Coast Annual Festival to include indoor skate rink in Accra, the main city. All travelers will be.
Also, if you like to listen to relationship topics, if you like to join in and discuss certain relationship topics, this Saturday, November the 8th at 3 p.m., I will be appearing on Sister Selena's Table Talk, and we will be discussing, would you choose a religion for the sake of your significant other? You know, your significant other might be a Muslim. They might want you to go to the mosque. They might want you to convert over to Islam. And they might say that that's one of the recommendations to be with them. Could you see yourself converting to Islam? Vice versa. Your significant other might be a Christian, Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, Hindu. Could you see yourself converting to a religion for the sake of your significant other? I see you, Kenya. I see folks in the chat already is saying nope. Now, I know, many, many years ago, a lot of us did. A lot of men, would go to church, just to make their wives happy or their girlfriends happy. So if you was one of those that converted or participated in another religion for the sake of your significant other, pull up on me. It will be streaming on Facebook. So make sure y'all are tapped into me on Facebook. It'll also be streaming on my YouTube channel. All right. Salute to the chat. Let's tap into this part 2 of Jarvis Butts is talking. The text messages. Now, also, I went back over the evidence. Now, where I'm at now in the case, I do have my strong, and I mean very, very strong opinion, very, very strong perspective. Whereas though, before we played around with it, it could be this, it could be that. Well, when it comes to this evidence, when it comes to the evidence, and I'm just only speaking for me, when it comes to that pink onesie, I'm just not buying that pink onesie. And I know many of y'all, especially those from Detroit, said, well, Shank, it's common that we wear clothes underneath clothes. And I was like, okay, I could take that. But in this case, I just don't see Naziah wearing that pink onesie underneath the clothes. Because remember, Miss Annette and Shannon, they both gave different descriptions on the clothing items that Naziah wore. Now, okay, let's say if that did take place, she did have the pink onesie underneath her regular clothes or her uniform. Well, where's her regular clothes at? Where's the uniform? Strong possibility she could have changed at the shop, but it just keeps going back to what we've all been saying. Too much took place on January the 9th. And they want us to believe that all these things took place on January the 9th. It's like a movie strip. And even when I film my movies, and I'm sure other directors can speak the same thing that I'm going to say, it's too much. You be wanting to get this done. You be wanting to get that. You be wanting to get a lot of things done. It's impossible. And this is in the filming world, whereas though people know the script, everything is already sketched out. We're on a schedule. We're still not able to get everything completed. Now, allegedly, January the 9th wasn't stripped out. Let me come to the chat real quick, and then we're going to move on to these texts. But she was trying to hide her pregnancy, so wearing under her clothes makes sense. But it was winter here, and depending on the weather, you will double up on clothes-ish. I wear thermos under my clothes. Right, thermos. Thermos, Kenya. Was Tawana asked, was Naziah wearing the pink pants? I think she only talked about her coat and her size. And I know for the Detroiters, I know y'all like Shank. We do that up here. We do that in Baltimore. But like the thermals, now we wear thermals, long johns. Or we might have on something underneath our sweatpants. But that onesie, and that's just something that I'm still like, I ain't leaning towards that pink onesie. We are getting closer to the truth. 2026, the truth will be in the mix. Now, I did receive a message as far as what Jarvis had to say. Now, I can't say that this is facts. So I don't want nobody to, push the narrative that it's a fact. I'm only going by what was sent to me. And I think that, I could see Jarvis mentioning this. And it has to do with that evidence. And that's why I spoke on the pink onesie. It has to do with that evidence, and it has to do with Shannon, as far as Jarvis has said, that the evidence was planted. Now, once again, I can't say that that's a fact. All right. So I don't want nobody to go and, say that that's a fact. I'm going to just say that that's what came to me. I see you, Chandra, boss lady. Thank you for your consistency on keeping up with the subject. I appreciate you, Book Serious Princess. See, here's the thing. None of us will let Naziah's name die down. As content creators, we might take a break. And me being a content creator, sometimes you do got to take a break, for your mental health, for your sanity, because it can be draining, and things that you all don't see when we turn the camera off and when we are off our platforms, we still have to live our lives, so we're not going to let Naziah's name die down. All right. Shout out to all the content creators that has been keeping her name alive. Shout out to all of the content creators that fight for the justice for Naziah Harris. But let's tap into these text messages, y'all. And I believe this is where we left off at. Someone walked on the back of her shoe. So it was someone with a bigger size than her. I see you, April. I see you, Masshole. Shout out to all my people from Massachusetts, Beantown, Boston, New England. Alicia, she was a young girl, so she may have worn it. And it's a possibility. Like I always say, just because I don't believe it, that don't mean that it's not true. Like how many of y'all, and I promise y'all, we gonna get into this demonstration. But how many of y'all saw my demonstration today with Aunt Bree? Drop a 1 in the chat if y'all saw my demonstration today with Kata Scott's Aunt Bree. Now, listening to her and the way how she was breaking down the vision, the psychic, the spirit world and everything, I was never one that was big on it. You couldn't talk to me. Man, I don't want to hear that shit. I was like O-Dub on Minister Society when Sharif was trying to teach them about the Holy Quran and all that. And O-Dub was like, man, don't nobody want to hear that shit, Sharif. Well, that was me when it came to the spirit reading and the psychic and all that. Even with a lot of these cases, I don't want to hear that. But then slowly but surely, some of it started to make sense. And I was like, especially when they were given the signs and they were spot on. I said, well, hey, they spot on. But after today, hearing Aunt Bree really, really walk me through it and explain to me, I'm a believer in it. I'm a believer in it. Shout out to Aunt Bree. I see you, Bree. Appreciate this super sticker, Evelyn. All right, y'all. Let's tap into these text messages.
Then at 12:11, she sends him, you bet not be in my room. At 12:12, she sends, I need to know. At 12:13, she says, I miss you. At 12:14, he sends her a message that says, I stole your panties.
And now were any of those messages deleted?
No.
Now I want to go to June 16th. There's some highlighted messages there.
June 16, 2023, at 2:50 a.m. and 25 seconds, she sends to Jarvis, didn't I make you come faster than ever?
And even though this message is graphic, and I know many of you all don't like us going over these messages, so I do apologize, but we have to go over these messages. Big shout out to KC the bodyguard. KC the bodyguard is boots on the ground. He went hard for several cases. He went hard for the Janiyah Rogers case as well. So big shout out to KC the bodyguard. I see you, KC. Shout out to you, big bro. Aunt Bree, can you do Naziah Case? Appreciate the membership, True Crime with T 89. Appreciate you for pulling up and purchasing a membership. Appreciate the super sticker, Tamara, and also Q. Also Q. Big shout out to Q. How many of y'all was here when Q gave her vision? And I'm gonna be dropping the link. Q and any and everybody else, y'all are welcome to join me back up on the panel. But a big shout out to Q because Q broke it down to me as well. So, all right. And also, if you are a new member, let us know if you are a new member. If this is your first time over here, if you've been in the bushes and this is your first time coming out of the bushes, let us know. And moderators and Rock Squad and everybody else, let's give all our new members a warm welcome. All right. Let's give a warm welcome to all our new members. No problem, KC. Appreciate the membership, Goddess. And if you would like to help me reach my goal of 15 super stickers or super chats, the memberships are included in the goal. Just click on the $ symbol and purchase a super sticker, a super chat, or a membership. All right, y'all, let's go.
On June 17th at 8:59 and 06 seconds, she sends, Jarvis, I'm sorry for making you mad, but do you ever think how I feel knowing that I can't have you to myself, but you have me to yourself, and no, I'm not seeing anybody else, I swear.
Now, I do believe that this message is from Naziah. Yes, I'm from Baltimore, Purple Goddess. I'm from Baltimore. Shout out to all my people from Baltimore, Bodymore, Murderland. Appreciate this super sticker, Rhapsody. Yep. Born and raised Baltimore, 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 Baltimore. Not Baltimore, Baltimore. We don't use our T's. Like y'all might say mother, we say mother. Y'all might say father, we say father. And then the most famous word that comes out of Baltimore is Doug. We don't say dog. Nah. If you hear somebody call a four-legged creature that barks, if you hear somebody say that's a Doug, you know that person is from Baltimore. All right. I am from Maryland too. Shout out to all my people from Maryland, y'all. Look, y'all gonna have me up here not getting to the demonstration. Yeah, shout out to all my people from Baltimore. DC in here. Shout out to DC, Chocolate City, Go. I love Go. And in fact, I was chopping it up with a Rock Squad member from DC, Juanita. Shout out to Juanita. If Go music would have got the same attention and the same promotion that hip hop got, the whole world would be influenced by Go. I love Go music. Alabama, I see you, Alabama. Appreciate the super sticker, Shay. I see y'all. All right, y'all. Let us know where you from, Oklahoma. I see y'all. And let us know if you're a newbie.
And were either of those deleted?
No.
Now I want you to go down on the page to June 23rd. There's a set better highlighted.
Yes. June 23rd, 2023 at 23:54 hours, she sends a message to Jarvis, the letter U, then you going to hit it from the back again with question marks at the next day, which is now June 4th, 19:11 hours. He sends her a message that says, send me some pictures, please. At 19:20, she replies, don't you still got the other pics? At 19:47, he replies to that and says, no. At 20:19 hours, she sends to him, I will send some.
And now moving through to June 26th. There's a set highlighted there. Oh wait, sorry, first, those ones that you just read, were those deleted?
Yes.
Okay, now moving to June 26th.
June 26, 2023 at 16:31 hours, she sends a message to Jarvis that says, call me when you have time. At 16:33 hours, he replies back to her, I want some pussy. At 16:33 hours and 50 seconds, she replies back to him, you can have some. At 16:39 hours and 41 seconds, he replies to Messiah, when? At 16:49 hours and 28 seconds, she sends to Jarvis, whenever you come get me. At 21:16 hours, she sends to Jarvis, call me, want to tell you some, S-U-M. At 21:24 hours, she sends a message to Jarvis that says, you can get some today. At 21:24 hours, she sends another message that says, you can get some pussy today.
And were any from that set deleted?
Yes. Oh,
All of them, okay. Now moving to June 27th. There's stuff that's highlighted. Can you read those, please?
yes.
And let me say this, y'all, because y'all know how I felt. I felt like these type of messages wasn't Naziah, because I felt like a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, a 13-year-old girl would not be talking like this. But many of y'all said, well, Shank, when I was that age, I talked like that. And then people said the way that these kids talk today. So I'm starting to believe, because listening to these messages so far, in my opinion, these messages was coming from Naziah. These was coming from Naziah. It's so sad because she went from being victimized by this monster. She was victimized by this monster. She reported it. She thought by reporting it, something would be done. And this is why most victims don't report the inappropriate touching. Appreciate this super sticker, Breezy Love. And I do have to say to all victims, women and boys, because boys go through this as well. I'm sorry. And I apologize, because it's so many Naziah Harrises out here. And when they go and tell, and this ain't nothing new. This is nothing new. This has been going on back in the days. I'm talking the early 1900s, probably even before then. The 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. When they come out and they tell, nothing gets done. So Naziah went through this, you know, and as Sent was saying, can we imagine how she felt? And if she's alive right now, this was, and you said a lot of deep-ish, Sent Dollars. You said a lot of deep-ish. But the main thing that really, really stuck was when you said, or you asked, what if Naziah is watching all the content creators? And what if Naziah is saying, or she's feeling like, damn, all of these strangers that never met me before is fighting for me and showing me all this love that I yearned for, that I would die for, that I couldn't get from my own family. It's sad, Carla. It's sad, you know? Sad.
June 27th at 7:55 UTC. There is a incoming call to Naziah from Jarvis that is listed as a missed call. And the name on here that she has this number saved is Bae for Life, BAE, the number 4, and then life.
Now,
Yes.
this right here, I don't know if y'all remember, this right here, I felt that maybe that was Shannon, because we got to remember, y'all, Shannon had Naziah's phone for at least 30 days. Right? So, right, Alicia, Shannon could have put that message, or Shannon could have put Bae for Life, but then again, Jarvis groomed her. And I don't want nobody to, well, y'all gonna take it how y'all want to take it anyway. Okay? So I can't stop people from taking it how they want to take it. But what I'm saying is that, first let me ask, because I want to make sure others might be thinking or feeling the same way that I'm feeling. Let me ask. Drop a 3 in the chat. Drop a 3 if you think that eventually Naziah fell in love with Jarvis. Did she catch feelings for Jarvis? Drop a 3. Or drop a 4 if Naziah could have just been going along with it, because the evangelist even said that Naziah is not slow. Naziah is not dumb. So listening to these text messages, because she had just fell in love with him, or could it just been she's just going along with it? I see 1-4. I see 1-4 in the chat. Kamara dropped the 4. Shonda says she thought he was going to save her, because it went from, from her reporting it, she knowing that it was wrong, to I'm trapped. My only hope is this monster. Even the monthly women needs, necessities, she had to go to him. And she said, I ain't gonna never get out of this hole. She also said, I want to live with you. Three and 4. They said Naziah had boyfriends her age too. 3. I believe she absolutely did love him, because to her that was love. Jarvis took advantage of her because she had nobody. He took advantage of that. She fell in love with Jarvis. She was young, thinking he was her boyfriend. She looked up to this man as a male figure. Notice I didn't say man. Yeah, it could go both ways. I don't know. Fact says, damn, if she did or didn't, never had a chance. She never stood a chance, y'all. Didn't have a father, didn't have a mother, or didn't have a mommy, didn't have a daddy. Never stood a chance. That alone. And then to be taken advantage of by this monster. She was in love with that man. We all were teenagers and experienced puppy love. She hated it there. She was too young to know the difference. Okay. He probably told her they can run away together. Yeah, I think that's what he was saying, Chandra. He fed her that BS. I feel bad for Lady, though. She was abused. 2, 3, but mostly 4 because she felt like she had no other choice. I see you, Coy. All right, y'all. Let me jump back. And once again, if you want to join me on the panel, just click on the blue stream, y'all link.
$7.56, he sends her a text that says, "Are you naked yet?" At 7:58, she replies to him and says, "No, I don't want to get naked." At 7:59, she replies, "Are you mad that I didn't get naked?" At 8:01 hours, he sends to her, "I used to you telling me no." At 8:06, still on June 27th, he sends her a message that says, she sends him a message that says, "Come on, babe, I'm sorry, just not in the mood right now, I'm sorry."
Okay, and were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Okay, now, jumping to it's a little later in the day, on June 27th, there's a set highlighted.
So on June 27th, now at 16:24 hours, he sends her a message that says, "But I can't nut inside you, so it's different." At 16:25, she replies, "Why you can't? Didn't you do it before?" At 16:25 and 40 seconds, he replies, "But I had to buy a pill to do so."
What did he mean by that? That he had to buy a pill to do so? I don't have a clue. Do anybody know what he could have meant by that message? Anybody want to take a shot at it? What would he have to buy a pill for to bust off? Plan B? A plan B pill? Plan B? I see you, Kenya. I see you, Kenya. Could it be that she didn't say anything to protect Jarvis because allegedly she was pregnant? The morning after pill, plan B. Y'all know my mind, my memory gone. I ain't as sharp as I used to be. Morning after. He already knew he was in the wrong. His pill was definitely plan B. I see you, Mel. Plan B. Shay, Naziah tell the psychic reading, everything going on. The morning after pill to prevent pregnancy. Okay. He had to get her a plan B. Okay. Okay, y'all.
At 16:26, she replies to him, "Yeah, you right." At 16:26, 28 seconds, she sends, "But what you doing?" but it's abbreviated WYD. At 16:28 and 45 seconds, she sends to him, "Are you busy?" with a question mark. And those were deleted.
Thank you. Now, jumping forward to June 28th.
On June 28th, so this next set in here, they're all sent from Naziah to Jarvis.
Yes.
And they start at 17:10 on June 28th, 2023. And it starts off as, "Bae, I didn't go see nobody. I swear I came straight back." At 17:11, "My friend lived right down the street. She didn't answer, so I came back and went to sleep." The next message, "Bae, please, I'm sorry." Immediately after that, she sends, I didn't sneak out for nobody, I swear.
And I do got to slide in, y'all. I do got to slide in. KC says, this makes me sick because the family didn't protect this baby, just like the other cases we've seen. That's facts. When people, and I get it, y'all, I get it. And I'm a very, very reasonable man. I really understand now why people get upset when let me just say me, because I don't want to involve no other content creators. Let me just say me, y'all. I get it when some people have a problem with Shank as far as me saying I don't think Jarvis unalived her. I get it, because whether Jarvis unalived her or not, this monster, I mean, just listen to the text messages. And we ain't even really get started, but just listening to these text messages, this monster should be put under the jail. So I get it. I do get it, and I want everybody to know that. You know, I get it. Like Shank, it don't make a difference whether he unalived her or not. The inappropriate touching alone. So I get it. I get it. That's why I love backtracking, because I always miss something. Every time I backtrack and I miss something. So when you listening to these messages, you know, you just like, man, I don't care whether he unalived her or not. Nigga, I don't care what he ain't guilty of. Nigga, I don't care. Nigga, just listen to these messages. That's some like 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, and that wasn't the only one. We don't even know how his conversation went when they wasn't texting. We don't even know how the conversations went with his own children. Just listening to this. So I just want to say, y'all, I get it. I get it now. I do. I get it.
(17:12, 58 seconds). She sends, I know you having a rough day, but I swear I'm not lying. At 17:14, she sends, babe, please, I swear I didn't go see no niggas. 17:14, she sends, I don't talk to nobody but you. 17:15, she sends, I was only out for 5 or 10 minutes. I came straight back. 17:15 and 56 seconds. You didn't respond to none of my messages, so I thought you were asleep, so I went to sleep. 17:17. Why won't you believe anything I tell you? I'm not like other girls. There is no need for me to lie to you. 17:18. You said I'm all yours, but you acting like it. You are overthinking it. I just want to be yours. 17:19. Please stop ignoring my calls. You don't want me to see nobody, and I'm not. 17:20. Bae, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. 17:21. I promise you there is no one else. 17:24. If you don't believe me, I will send you my Instagram password.
Now, these next messages from 17:24 to 17:25, don't read what the username and passwords are, just that they were sent.
So the next message is she's sending her Instagram username and the password along with her Gmail email, and giving the password to that as well.
Okay, and now starting again with 17:26.
So on June 28th, still 17:26, the next message is still all being sent to Jarvis from Isaiah. Are I hope you believe me now. You really don't want to believe me, but I will tell you the truth every time. Immediately after that, I just want to make your day better, babe. I'm sorry. Feel free to log in at any time or go through my messages. She sends, I only want to be with you. At 1809, babe, I'm sorry for not telling. I swear I will next time, please. Still 1809, babe, I love you. Please call me back. Now at 1818, come on, babe, please. At 1819, so what if I will be able to get out tonight and I'm calling you and texting you, are you still going to ignore me?
And let me just slide in, y'all. Appreciate this super sticker, Trelane. Appreciate that super sticker, Trelane. KC says sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands. That's crazy. She's so young and calling him babe. Where is the link? Can someone drop it? It's so sad that baby girl had to go through that. Everyone needs to go to jail in that house. That's how I know Jarvis is protected. He's still alive. Alicia, yes, Jarvis, OMG. Now he telling her she cheating on him. What the F? He controlled her and he made her do things with other people. And in my opinion, it wouldn't have been long before Jarvis would have been trying to prostitute Naziah. Now, here's my thing, Jarvis. With Jarvis telling, with Jarvis talking, what is he going to say? What is he going to say? Because even if he tells Shannon's involvement, which he is, even if he tells Miss Annette's involvement, which he is, what is he going to get out of it? Now, I always like to get my guests involved early. Give me 1 second, Q. Give me 1 second, Q. That's what I'm saying. They knew about the texting. You're welcome. They protecting Jarvis so they won't get exposed. I agree with you, Shank, if he wasn't already. Naziah and Janiyah both was failed by their family members. That's facts. Shank, it said you blocked my mic and Cam. That's cool. But I don't think Jarvis unalive her. She really, in his sick mind, thought he loved her. I didn't block your mic, Sent. Try it again, Sent. I would never block you. Let me drop the link again for you, Sent. It's saying that you have to, damn. It's saying that you got to connect your mic and Cam, not me. I don't have nothing to do with that, Sent. So you got to connect your mic and Cam. Click that link. Let me bring in Q real quick. Salute, Q.
I will let you finish talking before I say something, so I mute my mic out of respect.
No, you come on in. Come on in. Because right now I'm all over the place. You come on in.
Well, first I want to say, because I saw some, eerie comments, like everybody was suspect about what I seen. I don't sit up here and try to bring people to believe in what I believe in. I know I'm gifted. I know who I am, and I got my gift from my grandma, and I know what Naziah showed me. I don't got to lie. I even emailed the judge, Sabri, about what I seen. And I even contacted Marquis, the baby daddy, and told him what I seen. And I told him how it's all going to happen at the trial.
What were they saying in the comments about you?
I guess they was, kind of eerie about my vision that Naziah gave me.
You spoke on what's going to happen at the trial. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen at the trial?
Basically, Jarvis gonna take a plea deal. You could tell by the way, King was on the stand that he wasn't telling the truth. And I've been making videos of all my visions and everything that I was saying. Basically, what's gonna happen at the trial, Jarvis gonna take a plea deal. King gonna get a charge because he wasn't completely honest. He know more than what he's saying. He was just being careful with his words. And you could tell Shannon when she was up there, Jarvis was mainly looking at her because we already know she guilty because I seen it because Nazaya showed me. And that's why I said at the end of your video, Shannon, do the right thing because they coming for you. You know the truth. I know the truth because I seen what you did. And I told Marquita, even though that's your sister, y'all got a tight bond because y'all twins. You need to tell her to do the right thing. Marquita gonna get charged too, but not as a big charge as Shannon gonna get charged. Shannon gonna be getting arrested.
What would make King cover for Jarvis?
I don't know, but I just know he know more than what he telling.
Help me understand why you think King, because it's always good for me to hear other people's perspectives. What, just based off of what we know, as far, what would make you believe that King knows more than what he's telling?
Basically, he knew what was going on with Jarvis and that little girl, and he knew all the dealers. And I also feel like they was, I don't want to say it on your platform, but trafficking her as well. I feel like it was some trafficking going on. Cause ain't no way that girl was texting him 2:30 in the morning talking about, do you know that everybody know I'm with you? It was some trafficking going on. I don't care what nobody say. And like I said, more people gonna be getting arrested.
Could that been Shannon texting? Because we talking about these text
I know
messages.
when Jarvis played dumb on one of the messages, like he didn't know what the person was talking about. I believe that was Shannon. I think he played a little part at the beginning of part one, and Jarvis played dumb on one of the text messages. I don't know what you're talking about. I believe that was Shannon. I believe him and Nazaya had some type of code that he'll know it's her texting him. Because that's what predators do. They have a code with you. But I don't believe all the messages was Nazaya. That's just my opinion.
Let's tap back into the messages.
At 18:21, she says, "You are so busy, I feel like you don't want me. This is why I don't open up to you. Because if I do, you get mad and don't want to talk. So how am I going to trust you? I do, but you don't trust me. It's up to if you want to be with me or not." At 18:45, she says, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't get why. At 18:46, all I try to do is make you happy, but clearly I'm not enough for you. Cut me off. I don't anymore. You FRL, for real. Never even fucked with me. All I want is you to love me. At 18:47, I tried so hard, but you don't understand that. I'm sorry if you feel like I'm cheating, but I'm not. I gave passwords and all that, and all. What more do I have to prove I'm not cheating? Now this message is when Jarvis actually finally replies, which is at 18:55. He sends to her, I'm working, love.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Now, moving on to June 29th.
June 29, 2023 at 21:44 hours. She sends to Jarvis, when you off work? At 21:49, she sends, pick me up before you pick up Janiyah. At 22:02, she sends, hope to see you soon. At 22:47, she sends, I'm never getting out of this hellhole. At 22:48, he replies with the letter Y. 22:48, she sends, she will never let me out, it's so boring over here. 22:50, she sends, well, I will, she has the word she on here, UTM. And then the very next text after that, it says, I will see you tomorrow. Then at 22:50, he replies to her, or tonight.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Now, continuing on June 29th.
June 29th, 22:52 hours. Uzziah sends, are you still picking up Janiyah? 22:53, he replies, when? 22:53, she sends to him, today. At 22:53, he replies back, no. 22:53, 18 seconds, she sends the letter Y. 22:53, he sends back to her, it's just me and you. At 22:53, he sends another message that says, because I was never picking her up. At 22:53, she replies, okay, I really like that it's only me and you. 22:54, he sends back, you really didn't want her there, no way. At 22:54, she replies, I know I didn't want her there. 22:55, he replies to her with the letter Y. 22:55, she sends back, because she do too much and you mine. 22:57, Jarvis replies to Uzziah saying, meaning. 22:58, he then sends, and Shan said that she said no. Then the next message from him is for today. At 23:06, Uzziah sends to Jarvis, I know she said no for today. And then at 23:07, Uzziah sends, the meaning is you're mine and mine only, the dick, and all you're mine and will stay mine.
This some sick-ish, y'all. This some sick-ish. Come on in, Q.
That baby was groomed. Like I said, Jarvis is still a monster. He's still a pedo. I'm not taking up for him. I just know the vision that Uzziah gave me, and it wasn't him that killed it, it was Shannon. Like I said, he deserved to be up under the jail messing with a child. That's nasty.
At 23:14, she sends, I want to know the meaning when you say I'm yours. The date on here is now June 30th at 00:16 hours. Jarvis replies to her and says, all of you. Immediately after that, your mind, body, and soul. At 00:17 hours, he sends to Uzziah, the pussy, ass, mouth, legs, arms, face, and then he has the word everything in all caps. At 01:19 hours, she replies, "Oh, really?" And then there's some type of emoji. Immediately after that, she says, "Want to see that tomorrow?" And it's the same little symbols on there. At 02:47 hours, he sends back to her, meaning. It's now 06:03 hours. She sends to him, "When we fuck." Then at 06:24 hours, he sends a message to her, "What you doing?" But it's just the letters WYD.
And were those messages all deleted?
Yes.
Okay. Now moving later in the day to June 30th.
June 30th at 22:18 hours, Jarvis sends to Naziah, "I'm outside." Then the next message is at 23:36 hours. He sends to Naziah, "Go take them panties off." At 23:37 hours, Naziah sends, "Are we going to the room?" 23:37, Jarvis replies, "IDK," meaning I don't know. 23:38, she sends to him the letters PLS, or please. 23:38, he replies to her the letter Y. 23:39, she replies back and says, "Because we got more space." 23:39, he then sends a message to her that says, "To do." She then immediately replies, "To fuck, WYM, or what you need." Then immediately after that, she sends to him, "We going or what?"
And moving forward to July 1st. Oh, wait, first of all, were any of those messages just read deleted?
All of these were deleted.
Okay. Now to July 1st.
July 1st, 2023 at 14:31, she sends a message to Jarvis that says GM for good morning. At 15:22, he replies, "GM, quitting." At 15:24, she sends back, "Whatever, I was tired." And at 15:28, she sends, "Still my dick though." At 15:28, he sends to her, there's 3 letter B's, so it's BBB dot BE, and then a space N, and then the uppercase Q and the lowercase q, as we know. He then sends another message at 15:28 with the words "no." At 15:29, she sends, "Okay, fine. Yo, pussy, my dick."
Up until now, drop a 5 if y'all think all these messages came from Naziah. Drop a 6 if you think some of the messages was Shannon and Naziah. What's your thoughts so far, Q? You think all the messages came from Naziah up until now, or you think some of them was
them messages
Shannon?
about her and Jarvis meeting up in the room and stuff like that, I believe that was Naziah.
So it's pretty much go both ways. Some people thinking 5, some people thinking 6. I see you, Snoopy. To have more room should have been more likes so we would get caught.
He then replies to her at 15:38, who said? She sends back to him, me, it's your pussy.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And I want to stay on that same page for a second. Sorry. The messages on July 1st, starting from 1907 to 2135.
July 1st, 1907, he sends a message to her that says, I'm trying to fuck. At 1952, she replies back, okay. At 1952, she sends a message that says WSP, meaning what's up. Then at 21:34, she sends, you still coming, or you was playing about trying to fuck. At 21:35, he replies back to Naziah, I'm serious.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And now moving on to July 2nd.
July 2nd, 2023 at 15:46 hours, Jarvis sends a message to Naziah that says, can I get my dick sucked today? At 15:47, she replies, sure, no problem. At 15:50, Jarvis replies, yeah, okay. At 15:53, Naziah replies, I'm serious, you can. At 16:33, Naziah sends, there's going to be some type of photo that would have been sent at this time. At 17:08, there's a reply from Jarvis where it says, liked an image. Then at 17:08, Jarvis says, I'm going to sneak in, okay?
Now, let me just say this, y'all. Now, we haven't heard Jarvis as far as like, when we get to some of these messages, you can tell Jarvis knows that it's not Naziah. But up until now, all these messages, his response is, in my opinion, as if he knows that he's responding back to Naziah. Now, there's going to be some messages when he respond back. It's going to make it seem like he feels that that's not Naziah. But all these messages, it seems like he knows that he's talking to Naziah. You can tell that's Naziah. Look how she's talking. She had an adult mouth because of that man. Nobody is painting her as a toddler. I see you, PJ. I see you, Hazel. That was Shannon. A mind of a child, shaking my head. Letitia Harrison, who are you talking about? Okay, I don't know what's going on down
there. At 17:08, Naziah replies back, why? 17:08, he says, who is up? At 17:09, she replies, everybody.
Do you know what's really fun? Making a website on Wix.
Hey, we're How Ridiculous, three childhood friends and digital.
At 17:09, Jarvis sends some type of photo to Naziah. Immediately after that, she replies, well, damn, I want to lay with you. Then at 17:10, from Naziah, are you here already? At 17:12, Shan told the kids that you said you was on your way, so they know you coming. At 17:13, Naziah sends, I want to see you. 17:21, Naziah sends, so am I just giving you head, or we fucking too, because looking at that picture made me horny. At 17:22, Jarvis replies to her, you tell me. 17:22 and 29 seconds, she says, I want to fuck too. Immediately after that, she says, so can we? And then at 17:22, 49 seconds, Jarvis replies back to her, yep.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And now, later in the day, on June 2nd, or I'm sorry, July 2nd, there's a set of messages there.
Yes. July 2nd, 2023, starting at 18:41 hours, she sends to Jarvis, I want to fuck. At 18:41, do you? 19:04, are you busy, yes or no? 20:06, she sends, text me when you not on BS about fucking, because you playing. At 20:15, she sends, all I'm trying to say, I just want your body on mine. At 20:44, she says, babe, where you at? 21:52, she says, I'm trying to fuck. 23:58, she sends, she fitting to walk to the store. So now the date's changed to July 3rd and the hours are 00:42. She sends, before we go. At 00:42, 31 seconds, she sends, go upstairs in the bathroom. At 00:42, 48 seconds, Jarvis replies to her, why? At 00:42, 54 seconds, Naziah replies back, just go. At 01:11 hours, Naziah sends, we doing something or what? At 01:12, he replies to her, yep. At 01:23, she replies, I want to lay with you. At 01:30, he replies, I'm going upstairs. At 01:31, she sends, okay, Shan going up there too. At 01:31, she says, I just want to chill with you. At 01:32, he sends back to her, is she? 01:32, and Naziah replies, yes, you know she wants some dick.
Now this where things start to seem like these text messages probably isn't coming from Naziah. What are we all on the same page? Now, I'm thinking this is Shannon stepping in. Is it anybody that feels like this is still Naziah? Drop a 8. Drop a 8 if you feel like this is still Naziah. I don't think it's Naziah. I think it's Shannon. What you think, Q?
I feel like that's still Naziah. The Naziah was upset about him wanting to bring Janiyah that one time on the trip with them, I guess, to the shop. And she was like, why Janiyah got to go?
But why would she include Shannon? What is this all about now? Go upstairs. Get Shannon, whoop-de woo 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 woo.
Probably the way Shannon probably was acting that day. So she probably told him, hey, go up there and handle your business. Because that's probably what all she wants.
But could a child her age think like that? Let me take a quick break, y'all. Let me see who we got. Scorpio.
Hey, Shank.
Hey, you doing okay?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say I think that was Shannon all along texting Jarvis once she caught on to everything that Jarvis and Nazaya had going on. She she started texting him, trying to pretend like she was Nazaya, just to see how far that they was gonna go. And then she started watching them.
So
I
you
think she
think
probably had them
now?
to meet up. I think she
So
had
so
them to meet up, and that's when everything went left. Wherever they met up at, she was already there, and that's what I believe. That's when Shannon clicked out. That's what I'm believing. My
I'm
opinion.
yeah, I'm thinking that now this is Shannon. I'm
Yep,
thinking
that
now
is
this is
Shannon. Yep, she done caught on to everything. Now she trying to set it up, and because ain't no way that baby gonna keep saying, I wanna fuck, I wanna fuck, I wanna fuck. That was Shannon just to see how was he gonna keep saying the same thing over and over to see was he really
right.
gonna come. Yeah, that was her. She knew. She knew. She was just going with the flow to see how far it was gonna go. And I truly believe she set it up where Jarvis and Nazaya met up and she was somewhere around and she did something to that baby. He know it. He just ain't saying.
And once again, this is what is being saying in the jail that Jarvis telling people. Now, I don't know if he's. I'm sure he told his attorney. Now, what's going to be interesting to me, because y'all know when he go to trial, he can enter, even up until trial, he can enter a guilty plea. So he still
Right.
got time to enter a guilty plea.
Yeah. I think Jarvis need to go ahead and just say what happened.
I
I
believe he
mean,
gonna wait
you
till the
can't get
right
in no
time to
more
do it
trouble than what
though.
you're already in. So I mean, what? He knows
You
Shannon
ain't
did
coming
something to
home.
his body.
Yeah, you ain't coming home. You ain't
At
coming
all.
home.
So you
You know
may as
what I
well
mean?
go ahead and tell. May as well just go ahead and tell. Because you're not coming home either way it go. So why keep trying to cover up for her? She knew exactly, and that was her texting, pretending to be Nazaya. Yep, she knew. And I believe where she set it up where they can meet somewhere, and she was there and she saw what was going on. And boom, she did something to that baby. She couldn't take that. She flipped out. She couldn't take it. She could not take it. That is sad. I
Let's go
really
back to
believe it can.
let's tap back into some more.
That was Shannon, baby. Them Texas there.
So
That was
she going to
Shannon.
follow you upstairs. Then at 01:43 hours, she sends him another picture. 01:43, he replies, not getting any. And then immediately after that, the message says from him to her, this is your dick. At 01:44, Nazaya sends, I know it's mine. Give her some dick, so ask and shut up. At 01:44,
That was
See,
Shannon.
some so she can shut up and
Yeah,
leave
that
you
was
alone.
Shannon.
yeah, see, I think that now that's
That was
Shannon.
her
I think
trying to
here
throw
comes
it off. Yeah. Yep, she was jealous. He had stopped giving her the D. She wanted some. So, she trying to ease her way on up in there too. She know he wasn't coming over there for her. He was coming over there for Nazaya.
right.
She felt some
Let's
type
tap
of way
back in.
about that.
Let's tap back in.
She only acting like that because she's horny. At 01:48, Jarvis replies, I want to see you. Immediately after that, his next message is, while you in the shower. Then at 01:55, she sends him a photo. It is now 0204 hours. He sends her a message that says, I don't want to give her no dick. At 02:10 hours, these next set of messages are all from Isaiah. It says, come back downstairs. Damn, you scared. At 02:44 hours, she sends, hurry up. I want you back. At 02:50 hours, she sends, come downstairs so I can sit on it real quick. At 02:52 hours, she sends, I promise it's not going to be long, just a few, but it's FRW, up and downs, please. Then immediately, right after that is 02:53, she sends the same message, but it's spelled correctly. It says, I promise it's not going to be long, just a few up and downs.
And were all of those messages deleted?
Yes.
Wow.
Now moving to July 4th.
July 4th, 2023 at 15:43 hours, Naziah sends Jarvis a message that says, in the shower right now, I'll text you when I get out. Jarvis then replies, hope you know that we fucking today. At 15:43 hours, she replies back, okay, fine with me, I was just waiting yesterday. Or I was waiting yesterday. At 16:20, she sends him a picture. At 16:20, she sends, I'm out. At 16:56, a message is received to her. It's loved in image. 16:56, she sends a message, are you busy? It is now July 5th, 05:01 hours, she sends him a message that says, you was right, it hit different outside.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Now, let's slide in, okay? Okay, now let's talk about these text messages that possible, if not all, some of these text messages can be Shannon. Now,
Right.
how is this going to play out as far as Jarvis's defense? Because see, go back to the phone conversation that Jarvis had. I can't remember. I think it was with King, but somebody he said, I don't know what Shannon got going on. Right?
King said,
so go ahead, Scorpio.
no, you said King said he didn't know what Shannon had going on.
No, Jarvis was on his phone. He was on the phone talking to, I believe it was King. I'm saying Jarvis said, I don't know what Shannon got going on. See, no matter how you slice it and dice it, Shannon is present.
Yeah, it all fine.
When Q give her vision, Shannon is present. Shannon hit her upside the head. Any and everybody else that gave their visions, Shannon is present.
It all time.
Come on, Scorpio. Come on.
She knew their every move. She knew. She was on it real bad. She knew their every move. She was studying them. And it got to the point where she couldn't take it no more. She exploded and she did something to that baby. She could not take it, Shane. Ain't no way around it. Them was Shannon Texas. You could tell because she was so anxious for it. She was very anxious. Hadn't he would have came in the store.
She had Naziah tablet, didn't she?
Yeah. And the password.
She had all of that. So she was.
And I don't think Naziah allowed out of one of her accounts either.
No. Because every time they was taking her device. Yeah,
Almighty
they was taking her device.
Hold tight. Almighty Stream says Shannon just ain't that smart.
Shannon ain't smart at all. Those text messages, they sounded, she was anxious.
Alicia says Shannon was obsessed, like Naziah was the other woman. Caller
See,
says,
Jarvis had stopped being on Shannon. Shannon wanted
wait,
Shannon.
wait a minute, Scorpio. Wait a minute, Scorpio. Caller says, Alicia, I hear what kids say every day. Just respect the child name. She's still a child. A lot of those messages were deleted. Who was with King when Jarvis called from jail and he was talking? Right. She ain't, but she not that dumb. Right. She ain't dumb now. She ain't dumb. You know, and she quarterbacking all of this. Allegedly. Allegedly. Call of the cases is what it is. Shannon looked at her as competition. I can't believe these dummies did that good of a job hiding her. We have no clue where that baby is. They had a 30-day head start. And that's the only thing to their advantage. They had a 30-day head start. I see you, Blended Healing. I see you, Blended
Well,
Healing.
Annette plan from the jump start was to figure out a way that they could come up with something. That's why they try to get her as a runaway, which was a lie.
Jacqueline says, I could believe that. She probably blew all kind of gaskets when she realized that she was now the side chick. Yes,
Yeah.
to her niece at that.
Yes.
To her niece. Almighty says she's not smart enough to send Nazaya's pics on the drop of a dime. All right, I'm going to drop the link for you. Let me come back. I'm going to mute your mic, Scorpio, because that audio is getting in.
And moving to July 6th.
July 6, 2023 at 0305 hours. Naziah sends to Jarvis. Yes, I can tell when you come. 0305 hours. Why? Now at 0320 hours, she sends him a message that says, so doesn't that mean I'm pregnant? At 0321 hours, she sends him a message, I don't know, so I'm asking you. At 0333, Jarvis replies to Naziah, no. 0339, she replies back, K. It now jumps to 1310 hours, it's still on July 6th. She sends the letters GM. Then at 1400 hours, she sends, I want to fuck. At 1425, he replies, how? At 1426, she says, I don't know, you got work and I'm just horny. At 1427, he replies and sends her a message that says, where is your Nana? At 1445, she sends, upstairs getting ready. At 1454, Jarvis sends to her, she fitting to go. Then at 1457, he sends the message, hello. At 1503, Naziah replies, I don't know. The next message is, are you at work? And at 1507, Naziah sends, I will let you know. At 1508, she sends, you might can slide if you're not so busy at work. At 1508, Jarvis replies back to Naziah, yeah. At 1508, he then sends, I'm trying to slide. At 1513, Naziah sends to Jarvis the word question. Then at 1513, he replies back, yes. At 1514, she sends, do you like your girls skinny? At 1514, he replies, why you ask that?
Bingo. Bingo. Now, as we can see, now here comes Jarvis starting to question these text messages. And let me say this. If it's at least one text message, if it's at least one that Shannon sent, it's that right there. Jarvis peeping game. Jarvis, why you ask me that? See, so we call them trick questions. You trying to trick me up. You trying to trip me up. I'm sure women, y'all get interrogated by men the same way, but us men, we watch for these type events. We gonna know, wait a minute.
Sort of like reverse psychology.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Wait a minute. Look, your funky ass. Slow your funky ass down, Shannon. You see? And I'm a backtrack.
Yeah, that was Shannon.
That's Shannon. I'm putting some money on that Shannon right there.
It was.
Let me backtrack.
He then says, I'm trying to slide. At 15:13, Isaiah sends to Jarvis the word question. Then at 15:13, he replies back, yes. At 15:14, she sends, do you like your girls skinny? At 15:14, he replies, why you ask that? At 15:14, she replies, just asking, and then there's some type of emojis that must have been sent.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And moving just a little later in the minutes on July 6th.
Yep, July 6th, 15:35, Isaiah sends, I don't think she's going anywhere. At 15:37, Jarvis sends to Isaiah, that's messed up because I was gonna fuck the shit out of you. At 15:37, she sends, I still want you to do it. At 15:40, she says, sends a message that says, so am I going to see you today on your break? At 15:59, Jarvis replies, how? At 16:01, Isaiah sends, don't you supposed to be bringing me the money anyway, so I will see you? 16:03, she says, unless you're going to go to the store and get me some pads and other personal things. At 16:03, there's some type of emojis that are sent. 16:24, she sends, I'm down to my last 3 pads. I would ask Nana, but I can't fit her big pads. I have a little pussy, they shit big. At 17:41, she sends a bunch of question marks with the letters WYA. 17:57, she sends, what do I supposed to do? What do I supposed to use? 17:57, she sends another set of question marks. At 18:08, Jarvis replies with the word, huh. At 18:10, Isaiah says, I don't have any more pads. 18:10, I need to get some more and you playing. At 18:12, she sends, babe, please. And all of those messages were deleted.
Okay. And moving to July 7th.
July 7th, 2023 at 14:34 hours, and Isaiah sends a message that says, so what you on today? The next message at 14:35, she sends, you trying to fuck or what? At 14:37, Jarvis replies back, yes. 14:38, Isaiah sends, I'm sorry. 14:38 again, she sends, but I hope to see you today. At 14:39, she says, I didn't know if you were up last night, so I stopped calling and texting. And those messages were deleted.
And now moving to July 10th.
July 10th, 2023 at 16:41 hours. Uzziah sends to Jarvis, you trying to get up in this today? At 16:45 he replies, all the time. At 18:54 she sends, you eat lunch yet? Then immediately after she sends some question marks. Now at 19:54 Uzziah sends, yo job so empty. 19:55 she sends, I was just there. At 19:59 Jarvis replies the letters I and K, or I know. At 19:59 he sends, how you know. At 20:14 Jarvis sends, what's up. 20:39 Uzziah replies, I didn't want you to see me.
Give me a second, y'all. I need to take a 45-second break. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me take a 45-minute break. I'll be right back. All right, y'all.
$20:39, so I left. At 20:40, Jarvis sends a message to Uzziah saying, who was with you? At 20:40, she replies, nobody. 20:40, again, 37 seconds, she says, you working late today? At 20:40 hours, 38 seconds, Jarvis sends to her, so how did you get to my job? At 20:40, 48 seconds, he then sends, no. 20:40 and 58 seconds, and Uzziah replies, I walked up there. At 20:41, Jarvis replies back to her, so walk now. At 20:41, and Uzziah replies, I can't, Nana's back. At 20:42, she sends, can you pull up today since you're not working late? 20:42, she sends a couple question marks. Then he replies at 20:42 and 29 seconds with the word yup, and those messages were deleted.
And moving on to July 11th.
July 11, 2023 at 18:43 hours, and Uzziah sends to Jarvis, I want to fuck. At 1900 hours, he replies, when? At 2012 hours, she sends the three letters NVM, or never mind. At 2038, she sends, I took a shower. At 21:32, she sends, I be trying so hard not to think about you, but the dick too good not to think about you, and I miss you rubbing on my thigh. The date is now July 12th, and this is at 00:35 hours. She sends, we might go over sham crib. At 02:55 hours, she sends, I'm fitting to hop in the shower. Call as soon as you get done doing whatever. I want you to tell me how you going to give me my dick for my B-day. Tell me nice and slow and sexy so I can play NVM, you know.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And later on July 12th.
July 12th at 14:38 hours, Messiah sends, good morning. Then at 16:47 hours, she sends, did I have panties on? At 16:47, Jarvis replies, no. At 16:50, Messiah sends him some question marks. And then at 1700, she has a missed call from Jarvis's number. It says missed call. She still has him saved in here as Bay for life. At 19:18 hours, she sends, how did you know? At 23:09 hours, she sends, you busy? At 23:11 hours, there is an incoming missed call again from Jarvis's number, missed call from Bay for life. It's now July 13th, 01:44 hours. Naziah has sent him a picture. Immediately after that, she sends a text that says shower pic, and then there's some emojis. At 01:49, she says, damn, no response. At 01:49, 21 seconds, she sends some type of emojis again, and all those messages were deleted.
And now moving to July 22nd.
Before we move on, Sergeant Jones, do you need a moment, a break?
Sent you up here, but you gotta connect your mic and your camera. So, come on in, Q. Is it still Naziah?
That right there, I feel like it was Shannon. That's why he would call to make sure it was Messiah.
Mm. Let me see. It's Naziah's birthday in July. All of those were from Shannon, and that's why Jarvis kept calling. He wanted to see if Shannon would answer. There it is right there, y'all. Like I said, in the very beginning, the text messages, Naziah. But now, Shannon. Shannon behind these text messages. And Jarvis is peeping it. That's why he calling. That's why he asking. That was Shannon saying. Naziah's birthday is September the 16th. Yeah, those were Shannon. Who sent the shower pic? I don't know Shannon's birthday. I see you, Sharon. Up, and she wouldn't answer. You can tell the difference in the way she addresses him. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. If it was Shannon, why were the messages deleted? That's a good question. I see you, Lola. Misunderstood. In my opinion, you could tell the difference in text messages because of the way it's worded. Facts. That's facts. Yeah, who sent the pic? Why she say she wanted birthday, you know what? That's why he didn't respond to the shower pick proposal. He catching it. He knowing now. He like, this ain't Naziah.
That's why
This
he
ain't
kept
Naziah.
calling.
Bingo. And so Shannon birthday in June. And for Shannon to get on that stand and see, this is what's going to come out. I see you, Ray. This was going to come out at that trial, because at the preliminary, Shannon said, when they asked about the relationship, Shannon said it should have been no more than a niece uncle relationship. That's what she led to the court to believe, that she didn't know nothing about a relationship sexual wise between Naziah and Jarvis, as in the preliminary. But you did know, Shannon. You did. You knew more than what you got on that stand and said. Shannon knew about the relationship.
Shannon was coerced by Annette when she got on that stand.
Yep, that's why he called. Shannon knew about the relationship all the while. Shannon knew. I mean, come on, y'all. It's what I say. What I say about women. Women are nosy as hell. I don't care what race that woman is. I don't care what kind of work she do. I don't care what that woman believe in, whether she a Muslim, Christian, Jehovah's Witness. All women are nosy. All women get that gut feeling something ain't right. Shannon, you been new. It's Naziah. He probably thought it was Shannon, but at that time, Shannon wasn't living there. Naziah just said she was probably going over Shannon's house a few days prior. I feel you, Miss Mama. I feel you. I feel you. I'm going to come back to your comment, Miss Mama. I feel you. But I still think that's Shannon. She did. I don't think Shannon looks like Naziah. She mentioned things like him putting his hand in her legs, shaking my head, you have to be slow or something. She knew. She knew. She knew. That's your baby daddy. You got 5 kids.
And then she had Naziah tablet, remember?
Bingo. She told on herself then it should have been. He is literally right. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So once again, with Jarvis talking, because if y'all think Jarvis just ain't going to say nothing, Jarvis is a convict. Jarvis weighing his options.
Jarvis waiting for the right time, but he's going to tell it.
He waiting for the right time. And we still don't know whether or not the prosecution came up off of that motion of discovery. Now, if the prosecution didn't kick out that motion of discovery in a timely manner, Jarvis going to walk.
Well, I heard a while back ago that they found some new evidence in Jarvis' case. It was supposed to have been 2 videos, one with some inappropriate, sensitive stuff with his own child, and another video with him and King, Naziah, and some other young girls.
And see, once again,
and I kept telling people on that girl page, she's on TikTok, because she was sharing about Naziah. I kept telling people it was Shannon, and I kept telling people that King wasn't telling the truth. I've been saying it.
And see, once again, even if they got
and when Mark D and them went to Shannon and Dre house, and she gave them all that energy, and she lied and said that a child came back and told her that Naziah was out there effing, and Mark D said, "Ain't no child gonna tell you no mess like that." And I commented on one of the videos. I said, if the courts were talking about 3 DNAs and they're trying to figure out who it is, I said one of them gonna come out to be Shanda's. And I commented on that video, and somebody asked me, was I gifted? I said, yeah. And one person asked me, they said, How you know she did it? I said, I seen it. Nazaria showed me. And they was like, can you please tell me what you saw? And I told them. They said, wow. They said, have you reported it? I said, I did. They can't go off my visions, but I even told them I was going to take a lie to tell because I know what I saw. The same energy Shannon gave Mark D and them when they were asking her questions and Roxy was trying to calm her down in that corner. That's the same energy she gave Nazaria, but more tenser. And she picked up something. It was something heavy and sharp. I don't remember the object, but she picked up something to hit Nazaria upside the head with it. And Spirit also told me that Nazaria had some cuts on her neck.
Chick says, Jarvis been talking. If you listen, day one, his attorney said, we're not taking a red rum charge. S8, but not that red rum. That's facts, Chick. That's fact. And he ain't going to take that red rum. What killed me was they was locking eyes. I'm like, are they okay? Still bold, still not giving up. I have been trying all night. You might just have to wait the 24 hours, Sent. I know it's nothing on my part.
Tell her try to download Foxfire right quick, the Foxfire app, and try that one.
All right, try that, Sent. I believe you, sis. I see you, Sean. Appreciate this super sticker, Leo. I'm going to have to go watch that. She is literally family to them. I wouldn't take it neither if I know I didn't do it. That explains the massive amount of blood on that side. I dropped the link for you, True Crime. I don't know what else I could do, True Crime. Just click on the blue StreamYard link. At one point, the pressure got too much for Shannon, and I think she was breaking until they warned her about talking and looking weak.
Like I said, the ringleader, she coerced Shannon what to say on that stand. That's why Jarvis kept looking up.
Yep.
Because you could tell that Shannon is the type of person she don't know what to do without her mama.
Yep. Shannon always looked to see if she can speak. He messed that baby head up so bad where she thought that was love. He really messed her up now. He really did.
Type of person she don't know what to do without her mama.
Come on, True Crime.
All right, Trayvon, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so I don't have the direct audio, right? But I got some information. Jarvis is in solitary confinement at the moment. Jarvis ain't taking nothing. Jarvis feel like, I want to say he probably feel like it's nobody, no case. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. But Jarvis ain't saying nothing. And did you know that the pre-trial starts next month?
So Jarvis not talking to the other inmates?
No, whoever he's talking to, he ain't talking. He's in solitary confinement. He's in solitary confinement.
And in solitary confinement, you not in solitary. You just, nobody's around. You know, COs, no inmates, no nobody. When you go to court, you don't see nobody. When you go to medic, you don't see nobody. He ain't in contact with nobody. I'm trying to tell you. Listen now, I'm trying to tell you now.
I don't know. All I know, he in solitary confinement. He ain't out with the general public and the inmates because they sit in the office is.
When you in solitary, let me come in. When you in solitary confinement, there are other inmates in solitary confinement as well. Now you might not share a cell with other inmates, right? But you're going to have some kind of contact, whether it's sending kites to each other. Do y'all know anything about kites? You can be in a solitary confinement, but you can make a kite and send to other inmates.
Okay.
You do. Let me finish now. You gotta go to the shower. They get shower. You know, they get movement. What I'm trying to. You got a lot of echo in your. Uh, I gotta mute you, but stay up here. You're gonna come in contact with other people. Now, when we're saying that he's talking, he ain't in general population on the yard yelling, I didn't do it. He's not on the courtyard with other inmates yelling at everybody what's going on. No. But Jarvis is talking in the jail. Now, like I said in the first demonstration, it might be people that's locked up with Jarvis that he ain't saying nothing to. But it's other people in that jail that Jarvis is talking to. PC, protective custody. That's how. Come on, true crime. Come on.
Like so think about this. Now what if maybe he's talking to like Angel or one of the other baby mamas or Nadine? What if that's one of the recordings that they got?
Strong possibility.
Like because in the what you call it, it say that he's still mute. So he didn't plead guilty or not guilty. He didn't plead out at all.
Nah, he didn't take a plea yet. He taking it to trial, as he
Mm-hmm.
should.
Because it's nobody, no case. Like people try to bring
Right.
out there's nobody, no case for people. And the fact that they only have this is what they only got for my and you can tell me I'm wrong or not. They had pings and text messages. Now, allegedly, I don't know for sure, but they got his hoodie and his shirt too. Now, I heard that. But you can throw that either way. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like he can throw that either way. Like I've been through that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like necessarily, and I just want everybody to realize the fact that yes, Shannon and Ednet knew what was going on. But as far as it taking the play in this, I don't feel like they did. I feel like they knew about it, but I don't feel like in her actual disappearance, they took a play in. Because you had to, because you, in all the pings that they got for Jarvis, none of the pings even went nowhere near in that house. For him to even drop her off. So how can you put Shannon into playing anything when technically, they haven't even put the Shannon in the plate into anything. Like maybe they
Let
really
me
did sloppy work and they didn't check her pings or
let
check
me
her
let
phone.
let me let Q slide in first, and Q can address the Shannon part, and then I'll come in after Q. So, what would you say as far as answering her, Q?
Shannon guilty. Like I said, I know what Nazaya showed me. I called Nazaya name 3 times and I talked to her just like she was a regular person. And she trusted me and I told her to show me what happened to her and she did. And what I seen was Shannon was arguing with her. I seen Marquita on the side just standing there looking. And Shannon was arguing with her, and then it got intense. The same energy that y'all seen her give Mark D and Roxy in that video, the same energy she gave Nazaya, but it was more intense. Shannon picked up something. It was sharp and heavy. I don't remember the object because I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. But she picked up something sharp and heavy, and she hit Nazaya upside the head with it. And Nazaya dropped and blacked out and fell, and she never got back up. And once Shannon realized that, Shannon panicked, and then she got on the phone, and then it took me out the vision.
Now, let me ask you, True Crime. Do you
I want
believe
to say
in?
one more thing. I want to say one more thing before she come in. All
Quick,
I'm gonna
Q.
say is what's gonna get Shannon arrested. They're gonna come across some DNA because one of them gonna be Shannon. They're gonna come across a text message that they overlooked. It's gonna be Shannon, and that's what's gonna have her locked up, and her mug shot gonna go circulate the internet. And the grandma, she gonna try to figure out how to get out of that because she ain't taking the heat for Shannon. They all gonna turn on each other once Jarvis get offered that plea deal and he tell it.
Now, let me ask you this, True Crime. Do you believe in psychic readings?
To a certain extent. I believe in it to a certain extent. Now, you can't really decipher who's really, how can I say this without being, like, I want her to tell me something. For me to believe her, I'm going to say this. I want her to tell me something that she haven't heard before. Because the things that you're saying has been spread around already. From fake, from a fake Jarvis brother, and like he done already done said that. A fake Jarvis brother. Now, what can you tell me about what you have saw that nobody else knows about?
Can I talk now?
Go ahead.
I saw that, and like I said not too long ago, I don't know if you was up here. I said Spirit also told me that she got some cuts on her neck. I don't know which side. I just know she got some cuts on her neck, and also Nazaya showed me another vision. She was given a chemical like in the cup. I don't know what it was, but she was given something. She was forced to drink it. I didn't see no woman this time. I just heard a woman voice. And that probably explains to me why she was balled up on the floor trying to get to a guidance counselor and they failed her.
Okay. So the cuts on her legs, we can't say nothing about that particular thing because there's nobody.
Well, that's what Spirit told me. I know who
Okay,
I
so
am and I don't have to tell a lie. And like I
Okay, so
told
hold on,
Shane
hold
Rock and
on.
them 2 nights ago about my sister's situation, when before she killed her baby, the baby had showed me that my sister put something in that baby bottle. And this before she had killed the daddy. And you can look my sister up. She killed the baby and the daddy.
Okay, so let me ask you.
I'm not finished yet. But anyway, she put something in the baby bottle. So I asked the daddy, I said, "Where's the baby bottle at?" He said, "What you mean?" I say, "Where's the baby bottle at?" She put something in that baby bottle. And then he told me that the baby bottle disappeared. And then also Spirit came to me and said that one of them was about to die. So I called him up and his baby mom was in the background. And I said, one of y'all about to die. I don't know who it is, but Spirit told me one of y'all about to leave from here. And his baby mama spit out her drink and she said, "What she say?" I said, "Put me on speakerphone." So he did. And he said, "Kiana, go ahead and say what you got to say." I said, "Spirit said one of them is about to leave from here. I don't know which one it is, but one of them about to die." And 5 or 6 weeks later, my sister killed them. And also, I talked to pop music producer with director, and Spirit told me to ask him, was he still sick? So I guess I spooked him a little bit when I asked him that question. So he ended up calling me. And he was like, how did you know that I used to be sick?" I said, "Spirit wanted me to ask you." And he said, "Wow." He said, "You gifted." I said, "Yeah." And he told me that he almost died.
This is what we're gonna do, y'all. All right. I'm gonna do a part 3. This is gonna be a part 3. And we're gonna tap into the psychics. Because Q is not the only one with a vision. She's not the only one that I've heard that spoke on the Nazaria Harris case. And everyone, I've heard 2 others, and they all basically said the same thing that Q said, as far as Shannon hitting Nazaria with a sharp object. Now, I can't say whether or not they all heard each other. I don't know. But I do know Q ain't the only one with a psychic reading.
Well, like I said, I even told the way prosecutors down there that I wanted to take a lie detector test because I don't got to lie about nothing. And I know
Let me
Rain of
let True.
Fire, she's her gift a little bit stronger than mine. I had to call her, tell her it didn't happen at no shop, it happened at that house. I told her what Nazaria showed me, and she said she believed me and broke down and started crying.
Right. Rain of Fire gave the same vision as well. Shout out to Rain of Fire. Come on in, True Crime.
Alright, so let me ask you this, Shay Rock. Now, so to say, I'm not saying that she lying. I'm not saying that she's telling the truth. I'm not saying nobody is. Within the evidence that we know of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is she what? If Shannon is a participant in what happened to Nevaeh, my question would be to the psychic is, how could we let the police department know? Because at the end of the day, the police department has one figure in this whole entire situation. One person. So what can you give the people to give to the police department?
I've been saying it. Like I said, I done contacted them and they never responded back. And like I said, I have no reason to make up a story.
And we're going to stay right there We're gonna continue on
Like I
part
Okay,
3.
said,
so
I
Hold up,
you
don't
True
know
throw
Crime.
where
my
my
gift
body is?
out on nobody. If you don't believe it, or you having a 50-50 chance of that you believing it, then that's your gift. I mean, that's your opinion, but I'm not finna sit up here and lie on no child because I know what she showed me. And like I said, I am gifted and I got that from my grandmother. We also practice in voodoo, which I don't do that.
So what we're gonna do on part 3, we're gonna react. I'm gonna do some reacting to Rain of Fire. I want you up here, Q, True Crime as well. Any last words before we get out of here, True Crime? Give me some last words, True Crime, before we get out of here.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, like, do you have any?
You muffling, True Crime. You muffling. I'm gonna come back to you. Any last words before we get out of here, Q?
Anyways, like I said, I'm not calling Rain of Fire no liar. But I had to tell her that, hey, you know, it had happened at the shop. What Naziah showed me, it happened at that house. And she broke down and she, you know, she got upset, started tearing up, and she said she believed me. She said, you gifted too, aren't you? I said, yes. And I said, I got my gift from my grandmother. Cause I also contacted my cousin like a while back ago to see who I got my gift from. And he said, you got that from me and your aunt. He said, your aunt is gifted like that. He said, I have visions as well. Like I said, I don't put my stuff on people for them to believe. I just know what I am, and I know I can take a lie detector test and pass with fine colors. I done reported the stuff to the police. I had no reason to lie. That's why I said at the end of your video the other night to tell Shannon that she need to turn herself in because I know the truth. She know the truth. I know what I seen. And she had no business taking that baby life because she knew what she was dealing with. She knew he was a pedophile. And I ain't taking up for Jarvis. He deserved to be up under the jail. I just know that Jarvis didn't kill her. He probably participated. And Shannon probably was calling him on that phone to help hide the body. I did see her on the phone before it took me out the vision. Shannon was panicking.
Okay. Well, make sure if you're available, pull up tomorrow at 10 p.m. same time. And I'm gonna see if I can get Bree from earlier, as well as other psychics. If you are a psychic, if you have
Oh
visions, if
yeah,
you
Bree. Let me tell
yeah, I'm
you,
gonna
Bree, she's the real deal. I watched y'all video earlier. Shout out to Bree. I felt her energy through the phone as I was watching y'all video. I know she's the real deal. Like I said, we don't push our stuff out on people.
right. So will you be available to pull up tomorrow at 10 p.m.?
Yeah, I'll be available.
Okay, great. I'm gonna see
I
you
wish you
tomorrow.
could
Okay.
have Rain of Fire up here too.
I'm gonna reach
Cause
out to Rain of
me
Fire.
and Rain, see, a lot of people like to doubt me, but I've been saying it was Shannon. It was this girl page.
Will
I
you
think her
let me
name
finish?
Sandra Speaks. But she told me
Q,
she had to stop using that page because TikTok was so sensitive. I've
will
been
you let
telling
me
people it was
finish, Q?
Shannon.
Will you let me finish? I gave you your last words. Will you
Okay,
let me
sure.
give my now go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Q. Finish though, Q. Go ahead. Finish your
No
last word.
disrespect, but I've been telling people it was Shannon, and I've been making videos about it. And like I said, I had to tell Rain of Fire. I said, I know you said it happened at the shop, and she was hitting the head with a shovel or something. But what I seen is Naziah showed me she was hitting the head with something sharp and heavy, and you know Marquita was standing there on the side. And her and Shannon were going back and forth before Shannon did that. And I told her what my vision was and what happened. And she broke down on the phone. And she said she believed me. And she said, you gifted. You will meet him yourself. I said, yeah, I am gifted, but I never call myself that. But I do have visions.
All right, appreciate you, Q. Because I got
That
it in the
boy,
live.
that rapper Mo3, that died in Houston, he came to me. He told me that Rainwater set him up his manager. He mentioned his name to me 3 times. And he mentioned Trap Boy Freddy. Pop came to me about 9 times to show me something. Pop people sent me a picture that I was right because Pop had changed twice that day in Vegas. And Pop people sent me a picture that I was right. And I told them I don't know who the politician is, but it was a politician that had promised Afeni Shakur some things. and they behind her son's murder, and it was some LAPD police involved. Because the vision that Pop showed me matches the LAPD photos that I seen. And they said they know I'm not lying, because before Miss Shakur had died, the FBI was following her around, and they said they believe me.
All right, I'm gonna drop you down. Appreciate you, Q. All right, y'all. Give it up for Q and give it up for True Crime. So tomorrow, and I might not even call it part 3. I just might call it Naziah Harris psychic reading. Everybody is welcome. If you are psychic reading and you want to pull up and you had a vision, feel free to pull up. I'll reach out to Rain of Fire. I'll reach out to the other psychics. I think tomorrow's demonstration is going to be a very, very exciting demonstration. Salute everybody, and I'll see y'all back tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll leave the chat running, and y'all can hang around. Salute everybody.
I like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. All right, good looking out.
Tinted window screaming F the law out my mouth. I'm switching lanes from up north to down south. Now everybody trying to figure how I put it down. I took my show on the road straight out of town. Pee-wee is my nigga, so you know I brought some crooks with me.
1998, they tried to throw the book at me.
Tell me what you see every time you take a look at me. A straight P, I only be where the hookers be. A old head, but still can pull any fly chick. One thing's for sure, you never see me ride a nigga dick. I got a thoroughbred who loves to call me pretty daddy. Through Alabama, getting hit in a pink caddy when I come through. Everybody knows me, the young niggas love me. They call me, they OG. Go and do your homework about the shit that I spit. They gon' tell you that nigga Shank is legit. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. I eat a chicken box before I play a game of spades. I get some half is sweet tea mixed with lemonade. Some brown liquor with a coke to sharpen up my skills. I switch lanes cause I only fuck with the real. Now she's a winner, so I got to keep her on my team. Plus I'm a real one, so I never ever sell her dreams. You wanna know if I'll quit or if I'll stop? But they say it ain't over till your casket drops. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken boxer half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane.
I gotta go a little bit longer.
Okay, here we go.
Unless the court needs a break.
No,
Okay.
I'm making sure that she doesn't need a break.
July 22nd, 2023 at 14:56 hours, Naziah sends, "Bae, I wanna fuck." Then at 14:57 he replies, "Work." Immediately after that he replies, "I do too." 14:57 Naziah replies, "No you don't." 14:57 Jarvis replies, "I do."